Before this story ends, everything changes in a way no one expects. Watch until the very last moment, because the final part is emotional, unsettling, and will completely redefine what you think this story is about. My heels click against the polished marble of my apartment building's lobby, echoing through the emptiness of a Tuesday evening. Another 14-hour workday behind me, another milestone achieved for Horizon Brands. The client had nearly hugged me after my presentation. I check my phone again. Still nothing. The elevator doors slide open with a soft chime, and I step inside, watching my reflection in the mirrored walls. Quinn Edwards, 32 years old today, senior PR executive, wearing exhaustion like an expensive perfume. My green eyes stare back at me, searching for something worth celebrating. The number on my screen doesn't change. 0 messages, 0 calls. I tell myself it doesn't matter. I'm a grown woman who manages multi-million-dollar accounts. Birthdays are for children. But when I unlock my apartment door, the small cake I bought myself that morning sits accusingly on the coffee table. A single candle stands unlit at its center, a pathetic little soldier awaiting orders that will never come. "Happy birthday to me," I whisper to no one. I drop my leather briefcase beside the sofa and kick off my heels, sinking into the cushions. Tonight, my apartment feels hollow, despite the careful decorating I did to make it feel like home. The clock on the wall ticks steadily toward midnight, counting down the final minutes of my birthday. My phone remains stubbornly silent. I reach for my laptop, telling myself I'll distract myself with work until the day is officially over. Maybe I'll review that proposal one more time. Instead, my fingers betray me and open Facebook. The first post freezes me in place. There's my brother, Miles, champagne glass raised, surrounded by smiling faces. Behind him hangs a banner. "Congratulations on your promotion." My father's arm is draped around his shoulder, pride radiating from his face. My mother stands on his other side, beaming up at her son. The timestamp shows the photos were posted 4 hours ago. My birthday. I scroll. Each image feels like a fresh wound. Dozens of pictures. The entire extended family is there. Aunts, uncles, cousins I haven't seen in years, all gathered around Miles celebrating. The comments blur before my eyes. "So proud of our superstar," my father wrote. "The Edwards family legacy continues," my mother added. My hand trembles as I set the laptop down. They didn't forget my birthday. They chose to celebrate something else instead. Again. The memories surface without permission. Sitting alone at a restaurant table, 11 years old, a single birthday candle melting into my cake as I waited for my family to return from Miles's debate competition. They promised they'd be back in time. They weren't. At 17, I was shipped off to Grandma's house on my birthday weekend, while my parents toured Yale with Miles. "It's his future, Quinn," Dad had explained, not quite meeting my eyes. My college graduation, overshadowed by Miles's engagement announcement at what was supposed to be my celebration dinner. The conversation shifted effortlessly from my summa cum laude honors to wedding venues and guest lists. Just last month, my father dismissed the Horizon campaign that increased client revenue by 41%. "It's just advertising, Quinn," he said, glancing at his watch. "Not like Miles's work in finance. That's real impact." I pick up my phone and scroll through my contacts. Family names blur together. People who have never once called to ask about my achievements, my struggles, my life. An email notification appears on my screen. I open it mechanically, then blink. My performance bonus for the Horizon campaign, $82,000. My phone rings, making me flinch. My mother's name fills the screen. For one foolish moment, hope stirs in my chest. "Hello?" I answer, hating the eagerness in my voice. "Quinn, darling," her voice bubbles through the speaker. "I'm so glad I caught you. Listen, we're planning something small for Miles and Jessica's anniversary next month, and I was hoping you could help. Nothing major, just handling the catering and maybe the decorations. You're so good at that sort of thing." The clock strikes midnight. My birthday officially ends. "Mom," I say, my voice trembling, "today was my birthday." A pause. "Oh." She sounds genuinely surprised. "Oh, honey, with Miles's big promotion, it just slipped our mind." Slipped their mind. Like always. I stare at the email still open on my laptop. $82,000. More money than I've ever had at once. Something shifts inside me, slow and seismic, like tectonic plates realigning. My voice steadies. Don't worry about it, Mom, I say. The words come from somewhere new, unfamiliar. I understand what's important to this family. And for the first time in my life, I truly do. 4 days later at work, my fingers hover over the keyboard, frozen. A family group chat fills my screen, one I was never meant to see, but thanks to Mom's accidental invitation, I do. Threads sprawl like a crime scene, each message more revealing than the last. Quinn should contribute significantly to Miles's anniversary gift, at least $20,000. My mother replies beneath it, she just got that bonus, time she supports the family for once. There it is, my name, spelled wrong. Quinn, 1 N instead of 2. My own mother can't even spell my name correctly. I lean back in my office chair, the leather creaking beneath me. The Chicago skyline stretches beyond my window, buildings glittering in the afternoon sun. Inside Horizon PR's glass-walled office, I should be preparing for tomorrow's client meeting. Instead, I'm learning exactly how little I matter to the people who should care the most. My phone vibrates. Jennifer pokes her head into my office, dark curls bouncing as she steps inside. "Your brother's online too," she says, then studies my face. "Everything okay?" Miles used our Regentech contacts, I say, turning the laptop toward her. Pulled their marketing director into a meeting for his investment firm without even asking me. Jennifer scans the messages, her frown deepening. This is the 3rd time he's done this, and your dad thinks you should give him $20,000 for an anniversary party? She exhales sharply. That's messed up. Apparently, it's time I support the family for once, I say, bitterness coating every word. "What exactly have they done for you lately?" Jennifer asks, sitting on the edge of my desk. Her blunt honesty is why we've been friends since orientation 5 years ago. The question lingers as my office phone continues blinking. Miles, waiting. Probably wants another contact, another favor. "Your bonus was earned. Lawrence wouldn't have approved it otherwise." As if summoned, my boss steps into the doorway. Lawrence Chen, CEO of Horizon PR, flawless in his charcoal suit despite the late hour. "Quinn, the Westfield campaign numbers just came in. 41% increase in quarterly revenue. The board is ecstatic." His smile reaches his eyes. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon. This is why I fought for your bonus. You earned every penny. After he leaves, Jennifer squeezes my shoulder. "See, at least someone appreciates you." I finally answer Miles' call, keeping my voice professional despite the anger simmering beneath my skin. He needs Regentech's chief marketing officer at his dinner tomorrow. Important potential client. Family helping family. "I'll see what I can do," I say, non-committal. That evening, I stop by Mrs. Bennett's apartment on the 3rd floor. She opens the door with a warm smile that crinkles the corners of her eyes, the scent of freshly baked cookies drifting from her kitchen. "Right on time," she says, ushering me inside. At 84, Mrs. Bennett moves with the determination of someone half her age. These oatmeal cookies won't eat themselves. We sit at her small kitchen table, the checkered tablecloth soft beneath my fingers. For 3 years, Tuesday evenings have been our ritual, me bringing takeout, her providing dessert. The family I chose instead of the one I was born into. "You look troubled," she observes, sliding the cookie plate closer. I tell her about the emails, about Miles using my contacts, about the $20,000 they expect me to contribute. And they spelled my name wrong, I finish, hearing the childish hurt in my own voice. Mrs. Bennett places her hand over mine. Some parents never see their children clearly. They're too busy looking at their own reflection. Her words follow me home, lingering as I change for the family dinner I've been dreading all week. My apartment feels like a sanctuary now, a buffer between me and what awaits at my parents' house. On Saturday evening, the Edwards family mansion looms over Lakeshore Drive, 3 stories of stone and privilege. Inside, my mother, Claudia, fusses with floral arrangements, while my father, Richard, pours himself a scotch. Miles and his wife, Jessica, sit on the leather sofa, looking like a country club advertisement. Dinner unfolds with its usual choreography. My father dominates the conversation, detailing Niall's recent promotion. My mother punctuates it with the perfect anecdote. I push salmon around my plate, waiting for the inevitable. It comes with dessert. "Quinn," my father says, setting his coffee cup down with authoritative precision, We need to discuss your contribution to Miles and Jessica's anniversary celebration. The room seems to shrink. All eyes turn toward me. 20,000 would cover the venue and catering, he continues. As the only family member with a recent windfall, it seems appropriate. My mother nods, her pearl earrings catching the light. Family supports family, darling. The phrase triggers something deep inside me. Family supports family. When had they ever supported me? I can't, I say quietly. My father frowns, clearly not processing the refusal. I beg your pardon? I can't contribute $20,000. My voice steadies. That's a quarter of my bonus. I have other plans for it. Silence settles, heavy and unfamiliar. No one in this room is used to hearing no from Quinn Edwards. What plans could possibly take priority over your brother's celebration? My father's voice lowers, edged with warning. My future, I reply simply. My mother's face crumples. After all we've done for you, she whispers, tears pooling. The performance is flawless, crafted to extract guilt. What exactly have you done for me? The question escapes before I can stop it. My father stands, towering over the table. I will not tolerate ingratitude in this house. Your brother is the real achiever in this family. The least you can do is support his success. His words land with practiced accuracy, pressing the same bruise he's touched my entire life. I stand, my legs unsteady. I need to go, I say, reaching for my purse. My mother grabs my arm. Quinn, please, don't make a scene. But for once, I don't retreat. I don't smooth things over. I walk out the front door, guilt trailing behind me like a shadow. But something else follows too. Resolve. For the first time in 32 years, I refuse to fade into the background of my brother's life. It feels terrifying. It feels right. In my car, hands still shaking on the steering wheel, I make myself a promise. This is only the beginning. A week later, my mother calls every morning at exactly 7:15. I've started leaving my phone in the bathroom while I make coffee. Quinn, sweetie, this rebellious phase needs to end. Her voice echoes from the speaker as I apply mascara. Your father hasn't slept properly since that dinner. I study my reflection, noting the familiar tension around my mouth. Mom, I'm not rebellious. I'm 32. Then why are you breaking our hearts after everything we've sacrificed for you? The mascara wand freezes midair. What exactly have you sacrificed for me? She gasps, genuinely stunned. How can you even ask that? We gave you everything. I have a meeting. I need to go. I end the call before she can respond. By afternoon, my father strides through the glass doors of Horizon Brands. His tailored suit and commanding presence turn heads. Jennifer catches my eye across the conference room, silently mouthing code red before disappearing. I intercept him near reception. Dad, this is my workplace. Then behave like a professional, he snaps, his voice carrying. Professionals honor family obligations. Lower your voice. I guide him toward an empty meeting room, aware of curious stares. What do you want? Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Is that what you wanted? To punish us because we missed one birthday? The dismissal ignites something molten inside me. One? Try 20 years of missed birthdays, graduations, and achievements. You always exaggerate. He glances at his watch. The point is, Miles deserves our support. 20,000 from your bonus is more than fair. My phone buzzes with an emergency alert from our biggest client. I have to handle this crisis. We'll talk later. So do I. This conversation isn't finished. Actually, it is. I close the door behind me, hands trembling but voice steady as I dial the client. 3 hours later, I stand before our executive team, presenting the crisis management strategy that saves the Westridge account. My voice never wavers. That was extraordinary work, our CEO says afterwards, his hand resting on my shoulder. You just saved a $3 million account with that decision. The client called personally to praise you. Warm pride blooms in my chest, unfamiliar but welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Walking back to my office, I see 6 missed calls from Miles and one text. Mom's crying every night because of you. Fix this. Fix. I silence my phone and turn to the stack of congratulatory emails from colleagues and clients. The contrast is unmistakable. At work, I am valued. At home, I matter only when I'm giving something away. 3 weeks after my birthday, I sit alone in a corner cafe, laptop open, a half-eaten slice of carrot cake. At another table, a group of friends surrounds a young woman wearing a paper crown. They laugh, passing her gifts wrapped in glossy paper. "Make a wish, Amanda," someone calls, as she blows her candles. I watch the easy affection, the sincere celebration of her existence. The realization settles heavy inside me. I will never have this with my family.
No level of achievement will make them see me. My fingers hover over the keyboard. Without consciously deciding, I type Lakefront Property, Michigan. Dozens of listings appear. I click one. A 4-bedroom house with wide windows facing the water, a wooden deck wrapping around 3 sides, mature pine trees offering privacy. Price, $365,000. I study the photos. Something expands in my chest with every swipe. This could be mine, my refuge, my choice. The next morning, I call a realtor and arrange a private viewing. 2 days later, I stand on the wooden deck, watching sunlight dance across the lake's surface. The owners are motivated sellers, the realtor explains. They've already relocated to Arizona. "I'll take it," I hear myself say. "I can make a substantial down payment." Her eyebrows rise. "Don't you want some time to think about it? Maybe bring your family to see it?" No. The word feels clean, definitive. This is for me. Days later, the mortgage approval arrives swiftly, thanks to my excellent credit. I sign the papers in a quiet office, each signature feeling like a declaration of independence. Mrs. Bennett, my elderly neighbor who has shown more interest in my life than my own mother ever has, accompanies me to the closing. "You're doing the right thing, dear," she says, patting my hand as I receive the keys. "Sometimes we need to build our own sanctuary." For the first time in weeks, my hands are completely steady. I spend my weekends at the lake house, transforming it room by room. The walls fill with framed awards and photographs of moments I'm proud of. My college graduation, the team celebration after landing the Westridge account, the magazine cover featuring my PR campaign. The master bedroom becomes my favorite space. I hang a small wooden sign on the door, the birthday suite. Inside, I place a reading chair by the window overlooking the lake, stack books I've always meant to read on the nightstand, and splurge on the softest bedding I can find. On a bright Sunday, I type out housewarming invitations to Jennifer, my colleagues, and Mrs. Bennett. My finger hovers over my family contacts, a lifetime of conditioning urging me to include them. Instead, I press send only to those who have celebrated my successes, who truly see me. The act feels small, yet monumental, like laying the first stone of boundaries I'm only beginning to build. That night, I sit on the deck, watching stars reflect across the dark water, my phone deliberately left inside. For the first time in my adult life, I feel powerful, not just successful or accomplished, but powerful in the way that comes from choosing yourself when no one else will. Tomorrow, the calls will continue. The guilt trips will intensify. But here, in a space that belongs solely to me, their voices finally begin to fade. On Sunday, my thumb hovers over the post button. 3 deep breaths. Then I press it. The photo isn't anything special, just me on the new cedar deck, barefoot, holding a glass of Pinot Noir, Lake Michigan stretching endlessly blue behind me. What matters is the caption. "Weekend at my new lake house. Birthday gift. To myself." I set my phone face down on the weathered wooden railing and lift my face toward the golden Michigan sunset. The September air carries the first hint of autumn, crisp against my skin. For 20 minutes, I simply breathe, watching the light ripple across gentle waves while chickadees call from nearby pines. When I finally check my phone, the notification count stops me cold. 17 missed calls, 32 text messages. My mother has called 8 times in 15 minutes.
I silence the ringer and slip the phone into my jeans pocket. Not today. Instead, I settle into the Adirondack chair I assembled myself yesterday and watch the sun dip lower, painting the water in shades of amber and rose. The lake house is enormous, 4 bedrooms, an open kitchen, a stone fireplace. Yet every inch belongs to me. Every decision, from the sage green exterior paint to the vintage brass doorknobs, reflect choices I made without seeking anyone's approval. My phone vibrates again, persistent as a wasp. When I glance at the screen, Jennifer's comment appears. "You deserve this and more. Can't wait to see it in person." Monday morning brings 6 voicemails from my mother, each more frantic than the last. "Quinn, call me back immediately. Where did you get the money for a house? Your father wants to know. This is completely irresponsible behavior. Call us. People are asking questions we can't answer. How do you think this makes us look? Your brother is driving to your workplace right now. You better be there." The final message arrives at 10 a.m. "There's a family emergency meeting tomorrow night. We expect you there. Don't make this worse than it already is." I delete every message and make blueberry pancakes in my new kitchen. By afternoon, I've hung curtains in the master bedroom and assembled patio furniture when my work phone rings. It's Jennifer. "Your brother showed up at the office looking for you," she says without preamble. "He seemed pretty shaken when I told him you'd taken the week off, asked if I knew where you were." "What did you tell him?" "That your whereabouts weren't my information to share." Then he got that Edwards family look, like I was unreasonable for respecting your privacy. I laugh, surprising myself with the sound. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet." He cornered Devin from accounting, who mentioned something about Michigan, so just a heads up, they might figure it out. I gaze out at my lakefront property, autumn leaves drifting across freshly cut grass. Let them. Saturday brings my improvised housewarming. Colleagues from the agency arrive with practical gifts and genuine smiles. My boss, Greg, brings an expensive bottle of Cabernet with a handwritten note, "To celebrating yourself." We toast on the deck while boats drift lazily across the water. Mrs. Bennet arrives last, her silver hair swept into an elegant bun. She carries a quilt made from fabric scraps in shades of blue and green. "For your bedroom," she says, her eyes crinkling. "Every home needs something handmade with love." I blink back unexpected tears as she hugs me. "I'm so proud of you," she whispers. We grill steaks and corn on the deck. Someone brings a portable speaker. 80s music mixes with laughter and conversation. I take photos of everything. Friends sprawled across new furniture, sunset reflections in windows, Mrs. Bennet teaching Jennifer how to fold napkins properly. I post those photos too, each one quietly highlighting the absence of my family while celebrating the people who truly show up. Sunday evening, my father texts, "Where did you get money for house? Answer immediately." I pour another glass of wine and don't respond. On Monday, I returned to work to find the family gossip network in full motion. My cousin Elaine calls, her voice hushed with calculated concern. "Everyone's talking about your lake house. Aunt Claudia is beside herself. Uncle Richard wanted a family meeting, but you weren't there." "I was busy hanging shelves," I reply, surprised by my own calm. "Quinn," she pauses dramatically, "people are saying things." "What things?" "That you've been hiding money, that you're having some kind of breakdown."
That this is all because you're jealous of Miles' success. I laugh. A real laugh, bubbling up from somewhere new. That sounds exactly like something my family would say. The call that finally comes Thursday night is from my mother. I answer on the 4th ring, settling into my porch swing. "Quinn Elizabeth Edwards," she begins, her voice tight with controlled fury. "This has gone far enough. The Petersons, the Carsons, even Reverend Wallace have asked about your situation." My situation? This attention-seeking behavior, buying a house without consulting the family, posting those photos. People are asking questions. I rock gently, watching a heron glide across the water. "What questions?" Her voice drops to a whisper. why you would need to buy yourself a birthday present, why we weren't there to help you celebrate. It's creating a very uncomfortable situation for this family. How interesting, I say lightly. It's almost like actions have consequences. We need to fix this. Her voice hardens with resolve. I'm organizing a family dinner Sunday night. Your father and I will explain that this was all a misunderstanding, that we've always supported you. The old Quinn would have agreed immediately, desperate to smooth things over. But that Quinn doesn't live here anymore. I'm available Tuesday next week. If you learned something from this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You'll find new stories like this every day. I say instead, 7 o'clock, and I'll bring the photo albums. What photo albums? I smile into the phone. The ones I've been keeping since I was 11 years old, documenting everything. For once, my mother has nothing to say. On Tuesday next week, the granite steps of my parents' mansion stretch before me like a courthouse entrance. I clutch the 3 photo albums tighter against my chest, my knuckles whitening around their edges. The evening sun casts long shadows across the manicured lawn, shadows that seem to reach for me, trying to pull me back into old patterns. I ring the doorbell instead of using my key. Tonight, I'm not family. I'm a prosecutor with evidence. The heavy oak door swings open. Dad stands there, all 6'2" of him framed in the doorway. His silver hair is perfectly combed despite the hour. His eyes flick to the albums in my arms, then back to my face. "You're late," he says, turning away without waiting for a response. No hug, no smile, just criticism. I follow him into the foyer, where Mom waits, tissues already clenched in her hand. Her eyes are red-rimmed, makeup carefully applied to suggest crying without actually ruining her appearance. "Quinn," her voice breaks dramatically. "We've been so worried." I don't respond. The script is too familiar. Her tears, my guilt, my eventual surrender. Not tonight. Miles appears from the living room, a drink in hand. He pauses when he sees me, his expression shifting from casual confidence to something uncertain. I stand straighter, meeting his gaze until he looks away first. "Dinner's getting cold," Mom says, turning toward the dining room. The table is set with the good china, candles flickering in sterling silver holders, a peace offering or a bribe. I place the photo albums on the sideboard and take my usual seat opposite Miles, diagonal from the head of the table where Dad reigns. "Your mother made your favorite," Dad says, serving himself first, as always. "Beef Wellington. It hasn't been my favorite since high school. Miles prefers it." "Let's just cut to the chase," I say, leaving my plate untouched. "I know why you called this dinner." Mom sets down her fork with a theatrical sigh. "Quinn, sweetheart, we're just concerned about your impulsive decisions." "Buying that lake house without consulting us?" Dad cuts in, his knife slicing through the meat with surgical precision. "It reflects poorly on the family image, reckless spending, poor financial planning." "It was my bonus money," I say quietly. "Money that could have been invested properly," he continues, as if I hadn't spoken, "or contributed to something meaningful for this family." Miles clears his throat. "Quinn, no one's saying you can't have nice things, but maybe selling it would keep peace in the family. Mom's been crying every night." Mom dabs at eyes that remain suspiciously dry. "You're breaking your mother's heart," she whispers. I push my chair back and walk to the sideboard. The album feels heavy in my hands as I return, placing it in the center of the table. "I brought something I thought you should see." Dad's mouth tightens. "We don't have time for scrapbooks." "Make time." My voice doesn't waver. I open the first album. Pages of Miles in party hats, Miles blowing out candles, Miles surrounded by towers of presents, ages 6 through 25. Every birthday documented with professional care. "Turn to page 16, I tell Miles. He hesitates, then flips the page. His 18th birthday. A car with a giant bow, Dad handing him the keys, Mom crying tears of real joy. I slide the second album forward. "This one's mine." Mom reaches for it first. Her fingers tremble as she opens it. Empty pages stare back at her.
A few scattered photos, me alone with store-bought cupcakes, one of Mrs. Bennet hugging me on my 30th. Nothing else. There was nothing to put in it, I explain. On my 21st birthday, you were at Miles' engagement party, remember? Miles flinches. I open the third album without waiting. Family vacations, Disney World, the Grand Canyon, European tours. I'm not in these because I wasn't there. I was left with grandma, or sent to summer camp, or told there wasn't enough money for everyone. Dad stands abruptly, his chair scraping against the hardwood. What is the point of this melodrama, Quinn? You've always been the difficult one. The point is evidence. Next comes a spreadsheet, printed and highlighted. This tracks family spending, Miles versus me, college tuition, birthday gifts, car down payments, family trips. The numbers speak for themselves.
Thousands for Miles, hundreds for me. And this, I say, pulling out a worn diary page, is from when I was 9. I read aloud. Maybe next year they'll remember my birthday without Grandma calling to remind them. Finally, I place a photograph on the table. Christmas dinner, 3 years ago. An empty chair with a place card bearing my name. I was in Chicago, working. You knew I couldn't come, but you set a place anyway, took this picture, sent it to me with, "We missed you." You wanted me to feel guilty. But I was the only one who noticed something. I point to the chair. Look closer. Mom squints at the photo. That's not my usual seat, I say quietly. That's where guests sit. Even when you pretend I belong, I'm still an outsider. The silence stretches tight between us. Dad's face darkens to crimson. What do you want from us, Quinn? An apology? Fine, we favored Miles. He was always the priority. He carries the Edwards name, the Edwards legacy. Mom collapses into real tears. We didn't mean to, it just happened. And then it became a pattern, and I was easier to ignore. I finish for her. Miles hasn't spoken. He's staring at a photo I placed deliberately at the edge of the table. Him at 8, buried in presents, me at 6, standing behind him, smiling without joy. I stand, gathering my papers. I leave the albums behind. I don't need your approval anymore, I say, my voice steady. I don't need your love, your attention, or your validation. I waited 32 years for you to see me. I'm done waiting. I turn toward the door, shoulders straight, steps unhurried. Behind me, Miles calls my name. Mom sobs. Dad says nothing. I pause at the threshold without turning back. The albums are yours to keep. Consider them a gift. The door closes behind me with a quiet click that echoes like thunder. A year later, on my birthday, the morning sun paints gold across my lake house deck as I arrange a tray of fresh fruit beside a champagne bucket. 33 candles wait on the cake. Jennifer insisted on bringing one for each year, plus one for luck. Need any help? Mark from marketing calls from the sliding door, balancing a platter of pastries. Just set those anywhere. I smooth my red sundress and check my watch. Everyone should be here within the hour. A year makes quite the difference. Last birthday, I sat alone in my apartment with a store-bought cake. Today, my deck bustles with colleagues and new friends, all here to celebrate me. My phone buzzes with congratulatory texts about my promotion to senior director. The timing feels poetic. Announced yesterday, celebrated today. The lake sparkles beyond the railing, reflecting a sky that matches my mood. Dr. Levine, my therapist, would call this progress. Our weekly sessions have helped me understand the family dynamics that shaped me. Generational patterns, she calls them. Breaking them takes courage. Courage looks like spending Thanksgiving at a resort in Vermont instead of my parents' house, like muting group texts when they turn manipulative, like building my own traditions from scratch. Quinn, Jennifer raises her mimosa glass, to the birthday girl who taught us all how to choose ourselves. Glasses clink, laughter ripples. I absorb the warmth of genuine connection, so different from the hollow performance of family gatherings. A car door slams out front. I know that engine sound. My brother's BMW.
Miles stands awkwardly at the edge of the deck, holding a wrapped package. The party conversation dims as he approaches. "Sorry to crash," he says. I wanted to give you this in person. We haven't spoken since the photo album confrontation, since he watched his perfect family narrative crumble under the weight of evidence. Join us, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Later, when the party moves indoors, Miles and I sit at the end of the dock. The package rests between us, still wrapped. "Therapy's been eye-opening," he admits, watching a sailboat cut across the horizon. "Dad still won't go, but Mom's trying. She talks about you differently now." "And you?" I ask. "I never saw it until you showed us, how they erased you while spotlighting me." He pushes the package toward me. "Open it." Inside is a framed photograph I've never seen before. Me at 7, perched on our old tire swing, laughing at something beyond the camera. Just me. "Found it in Dad's storage boxes. Had it restored. Proof you existed, even when nobody was looking." My throat tightens. Not a solution, but a beginning. A knock at the lake house door pulls me back to the party. Through the glass, I see my mother standing alone on the porch, clutching a small bakery box. She insisted on coming. I didn't tell her where until today. Mom's hands tremble as she holds out the box. Inside sits a cupcake with a single candle. "Happy birthday, Quinn," she whispers, her rehearsed smile faltering into something more genuine. "I brought carrot cake. You always liked that, didn't you?" "I did," she remembered. "The party's winding down," I say, stepping aside. "You can stay for cake if you'd like." Her relief is palpable. Small steps. After everyone leaves, I walk back to the dock as twilight settles over the lake. Last year, I spent my birthday staring at an empty inbox in a sterile cafe. Tonight, I'm surrounded by gifts chosen with care, echoes of laughter, and the beginnings of boundaries that protect without isolating. My phone chimes with a text from Mrs. Bennett. "Did you enjoy your day, dear?" I smile as I type my reply. For the first time, I truly celebrated myself. The lake house windows glow behind me, light reflecting on the gentle waves. I raise my glass to my silhouette against the sunset, toasting the woman who finally learned that validation begins within. What gift have you given yourself that changed everything? If you learned something from this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You'll find new stories like this every day.